Hey guys, and I guess like the first thing I should say is like, wow, long time no talk. Okay, so this video is going to be broken up into two different segments. The first segment is going to be the unboxing, and the second segment is going to be me talking about what's been going on and why I haven't posted. So if you want to go ahead, and I'll have timestamps like first segment, second segment, where the second segment starts, basically. If you're not interested in the unboxing and you just want to know about my life, which I don't think that will be any of you. I think that most of you want to see the unboxing. That's why I'm doing it first. I didn't film last month's. This is August's box. I didn't film July's. I just couldn't. I had so much going on, and you'll understand once I get into the video. First, I will tell you about the box, and then as I'm unboxing, I will tell you what's been going on with me and why I haven't posted. So this is the Real Dog box. It is the only subscription box I get my dogs as of right now. I did do the Bark box for a while, but I have way too many toys. Like, if you look at my other Real Dog box unboxings, I have video of like all of the toys in my house, and my dogs never chew anything up because I don't know why they don't, but they don't. Anyway, so this comes with, you can get a chew box, or you can get a treat box, or you can get the both of them. The first time I just did the chews, and then the second time I did treat and chews, and I've done treat and chews the rest of the time. If you do the treat and chew, it is $39 for a light chew, a medium chew, a heavy chew, an organ meat of the month, a seafood like flavor of the month, and then they also have a muscle meat of the month, which can range from what it is. If your dog has any allergies, you can actually just like tell them that your dog has allergies and they will remove it. But let's go ahead and get started, and I will open this up. I already like cut it open because I struggle with scissors and knives, and I don't like doing it in front of people. Okay, finally got it. Okay, so here you go. That's the inside of the box. So the first thing that I see on the top is the seafood of the month, and it is salmon. The first thing I see off the top is the seafood of the month, and it is salmon. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah. So basically they just dehydrate the salmon. It's funny because I just finished my dog's salmon treats from Vital Essentials last night, and my older 13-year-old dog loves these. The next thing that I see in the box is pork kidney, which I used to give my dogs this raw, so they will 100% eat this and they will love it. The last oh, that was the organ meat of the month, sorry. And then this is the muscle meat of the month, and this is the only thing that I knew was in the box. I couldn't remember everything else. I still can't remember what the chews are, but this is elk, and this is the first time that Ruby has put it in the box, and I am so excited because my dogs absolutely adore elk, and I can never find it here because I live in the city. But it looks like that. I don't know if you can see, it says elk right there, and then it's just like elk jerky. The next thing is going to be the light chew of the month, and this is beef aorta. So, and then it looks like that. I don't know, I've never given my dogs this except raw, and they've eaten it raw, but it is chewy. This will probably be good for the puppies. I've been giving them a lot of chews lately, and I guess that's one of the first announcements that I should make in this video, is that I found 2 black lab puppies on the side of the road in Tennessee. Let that sink in. So the whole story about how I found them is really weird, and I won't get into it. I will probably post like their own dedicated video here soon. Probably the next video up will be that. But I do have 2 black lab puppies. I found them when they were about 6 weeks old, and I've had them for about 6 weeks, so they're about 12 weeks old now. There's a male and a female, and I named them Gus and Ola, and I will get into why I named them that and how I found them and the whole situation in the next video. Anyways, next to the medium chew. The medium chew of the month is lamb ears, and my dogs love these, and I think the puppies will like them too. So yeah, this is super exciting. And the heavy chew of the month, I think that they did this 2 months ago. I think this was in June's box as well, is pig ears. And I even made a joke saying that pig ears didn't, like, my dogs went through them really quickly, But ironically enough, these pig ears take my dogs forever to go through. I will say though, the best like heavy chew of the month so far that I've gotten was actually July's box, and it was beef backstrap, and I gave that to my dogs last night, and my shepherd, which is a really like vicious chewer, she eats whole prey, she actually wasn't able to go through it, and she chewed on it for like 30 minutes. So I don't know, that was the best one so far. Everything else obviously is a great chew, but that's the one that's lasted the longest. Like my dogs just can't go through it for some reason, don't know why. So this is gonna be like the end of the unboxing portion of it, and I'm gonna go into kind of like the chatty, like what's been going on in my life portion. So if you don't want to see that, you can go ahead and click off. Like I totally understand, I wouldn't be interested either. But anyways, if you did want to hear, I'm going to talk about a car accident and my trip to Tennessee and the puppies and all of that. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. Also, if I'm like smiling throughout all of this, I'm sorry, but like that's just how I handle stressful situations, is I like awkwardly laugh. And I know that's weird, but like somebody out there can relate with me. I know you can. So on July 16th, I filmed my last video, which was ironically and not so ironically a video that I had never seen done before, and I thought would be really fun, and it was pet product empties. So for like 2 months I saved all of these like plastic bags and like anything that like this type of thing came in, like any packaging from animal products. So it could have been rabbit pellets, rabbit hay, dog treats, dog food, like anything. I saved all of the packages and I put them in a box, and I did a dedicated video on what I would repurchase and what I wouldn't. And later that day I filmed it on my camera, and then instead of editing it right away, my dogs needed exercise, so I loaded my 4 dogs up, because this was before my trip to Tennessee. So I loaded up my 4 dogs in my car, and I started driving down my street to go to my mom's house, and this guy ran a stop sign and I T-boned him, and I totaled my car with all 4 of my dogs in the car, which was probably the scariest thing that has ever happened to me. I still like obviously can't really talk about it like too much. I can tell you what happened, but I don't like to dwell on it, because all of my dogs thankfully are perfectly fine and they made it through without a scratch. However, if my airbags had gone off, Wesley would have died, because what happened was this guy was coming this way when he ran the stop sign, and I hit him here, so he pushed me. And when I put my arm out, naturally, because I wanted to keep my dog from getting hurt, and I saw Wesley coming forward, I like looked, and it was like slow motion. You know, when you get really stressed out like that, slow motion happens. So Wesley was coming, and I put my arms out like this and caught him. And when it ended up, because of the way that the car shifted, he was in my lap, and Harlow, which is my smaller shepherd, she's actually the older one, she's 2.5, she was in the passenger seat. My door was open and my phone was on the ground, like out on the pavement. So I immediately grabbed everything and got the dogs out. I didn't have their leashes or their collars with me, because I've said this a million times to people out on the street, my dogs are off leash trained. I don't need to bring their leashes and collars unless I know that I'm going somewhere. If I know I'm going somewhere where like a state park and they need to be on a leash, I will bring their leashes and collars. Generally speaking, I have leashes and collars in my car, but I had just cleaned out my car, so I took the leashes and collars out because they needed to be washed, because they were stinky, because dog. So I didn't have leashes and collars, and the only thing that I could think of was get the dogs out of the car, because things were smoking. I didn't know if it was going to blow up. I know that sounds like over dramatic, but I've been in this was my 3rd car accident, and I was not risking anything. And by the way, only one of the car accidents has been my fault. The other 2 have not been my fault. Anyway, so I get all of the dogs out of the car, and I realize I don't have leashes for them. My dogs are running everywhere. And so Dixie was still in the car, and I couldn't get her to come out because Dixie's scared of like everything anyway. She's my 13-year-old, And so she was in the back of the car and I'm like yelling, I'm like, come on Dixie, you gotta come out. So I had to crawl into the back of the car and like pull her out, which I'm sure was stressful for her. And the guy, I asked him, obviously, the guy that I hit, I said, are you okay? And I noticed he had a dog, he had a puppy. And all of my dogs are great with other dogs, but I didn't want to stress the puppy out because like the car accident and everything had just happened. I didn't want the puppy to get stressed out. So I said, are you okay? He said, yes, absolutely. I said, I'm calling 911 right now. I'm gonna run my dogs home and I'll be back. Keep in mind, I didn't say it that calm. I was like freaking out, sobbing, screaming, barefoot because my shoes were in the car. Anyways, so I run my dogs back to the house and obviously I go back and the car gets towed and the car gets totaled out, and this was 5 days before I was supposed to leave for Tennessee. So that was a bummer.
Okay, so the reason why it was a huge bummer that it happened 5 days before my trip and then my car got totaled out was because I had no car, and so that meant that I had to buy a car within literally, like, between them totaling it out and me leaving, I think I had like 36 hours. So I don't know if you've ever bought a car, but it's stressful enough having to do it, let alone having to do it with literally like 1 day. So it was a super stressful experience, and that was why I was like super bummed out about it getting told about. But I'm glad I was able to go to Tennessee. Anyways, moving along.
And so I called my aunt. I didn't know if I was going to be able to go to Tennessee, and especially if they were going to fix it. If they were going to fix my car, it was going to take them something like 3 weeks or 3 months, excuse me, to fix my car. And I'll insert a picture of it here so you can see like what it looked like. But again, I don't want to get into it too much. I'm okay. I have really bad like neck stuff and I have really bad low back stuff, but I'm going to physical therapy. And the biggest thing to me, and I say this all of the time, is that my dog, all 4 of them, they lived through it. And that has always been my biggest fear, is that I would get into a car accident with my dogs. And it happened and we lived through it, and I don't know what type of guardian angel I had, but I had one, and I'm so thankful for all of them, or for that guardian angel, because if anything happened to one of my dogs on my account, I would never be able to forgive myself. Then after my car accident happened, I came home, and like after this was like a few days later after the car accident, and I was gonna edit the footage of the video. This is where the story's going. Yes, it has an ending, I know. So I come home and I try and edit the footage, and I load the footage onto my computer, and my freaking air conditioner was on the entire time. So you can't tell, but here. I film in the spare room, and I film in the spare room mainly because it's like the best lit. I know it's really crappy lighting anyways, but it's the best lit out of all of the rooms, and it's the cleanest. Like the bunny room across the hall where Mocha, Cadbury, and Cleo are, that's probably like the best lit room, but it's not really clean and there's not a good place for me to sit down to be able to film. So this is so janky, but I put my camera here, and I like leave it here so that I can film instead of having a tripod because I'm poor. And that's the air vent right there. So the air vent was blowing directly down onto where I was filming, so that caused me to have really crappy footage. And I was already going through obviously a lot because I had just crashed my car. So I was really stressed out about the whole situation, and I am a very hardcore perfectionist, so if something is not done the right way, I just will abandon the project. Like if I feel like I've done it wrong, then I'll abandon the project. And I could not refilm that video because I had already thrown everything away thinking like, oh, it's fine, whatever. But it wasn't fine. So that footage, I have toyed around with the idea of just putting it up anyways because I think people would find it interesting. You can kind of hear what I'm saying, but it's just so annoying. And it's like a really long video too. It's like 20 minutes long. So that's why I stopped filming. And then I went to Tennessee, and I was on vacation and trying to like come down from a lot of stress and anxiety and like de-stress and detox from like social media and everything. So especially because of the whole Green Valley Pride thing, which I'm gonna make another video about that, addressing like stuff that's happened since then. I need to offload it because it was causing so much stress in my life that I was getting messages on messages on messages from people on Facebook, from people on YouTube, anywhere that I could get messages, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere. I was getting messages about, oh my gosh, my dog went through this too, but I don't want to come out and say it because of whatever reason. I had people tell me that they were scared to say anything because of the co-op leaders being mean to people who did say stuff. So it consumed a lot of my life and I needed to take a detox. So I went to Tennessee and I didn't really film a lot. I'm gonna put up a video of how much fun I did have with my aunt because we did do like this super cool hike and it was so incredible, and I will put footage up of it because it really was like just an incredible experience. And I took all 4 of my dogs, whatever. And so I didn't really film that much, and then we found the puppies the day before I was leaving Tennessee. So I drove home with quite literally 250 pounds of raw meat, like raw food, that I bought the dogs in Tennessee because it was a lot cheaper there because the sourcing was better. So I drove home with 250 pounds worth of raw food for the dogs, plus like a bunch of stuff that I bought while I was up there. Like they have liquidation stores, like it's called Yard Sale and Bargain Hunt, and it's like liquidation stores from Target. They also have Dirt Cheap, that's Target. Dirt Cheap is Target. Yard Sale is like Amazon or like online retailers, and then they have I think Bargain Hunt is Walmart, I'm not sure, but they're liquidation stores. So when these big box stores break down and they need to liquidate everything, they sell them to these places and these places sell it for cheap. So I had bought a bunch of stuff like freeze-dried dog food that was like coming out of date. I bought some of that. I bought some wet food for my cats because I've said it a million times, some of my cats won't eat raw, so I get them wet food. I got a bag of dog food for my mom, just like a plethora of things. Clothes, I got antique items because Tennessee is like the best place to go for antiques. And we went to a bunch of yard sales and I was up there for 2 weeks. So it was just a conglomerate of stuff. And I drove home with 250 pounds worth of raw food, that stuff that I bought, and 6 dogs, 2 of which being puppies. Oh, and I got my braces off. Alright guys, so that is the end of this video. I thought I would give you a sneak peek of the puppies until their video. This is Ola right here. This is the female, and this is the male Gus. He's a little more fluffy than she is. She is short coat and a lot more spunky than he is, ironically enough. But he is the sweetest thing, and so is she, and I'm so happy they're in my life. I'm so happy I was able to save them. So look for their video coming soon this week. I'm gonna try and start posting 2 times a week again. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and if you liked this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, leave a dislike and tell me why you didn't like it. And if you want to support the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And like I said, if you didn't like the video, tell me what you would like to see, because I am here to learn. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, like I said, and I will see you next time. Bye!